Hello and welcome back. This is one of the two teams you're going to see facing off against one another in our first elimination match of the NA region. Final Gambit. I think there's a lot of people which would have a lot of question marks here. Not too many well-known faces. Foreshadow and Passengers, some of you might know from their stint for the Team Canada Open Trials in 2023. But other than that, Jaws, who else is standing out?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of unknown players, especially in teams that qualified fairly low down in terms of their Swiss bracket. Daybreak not being one of them. It was actually Final Gambit that qualified in 16th place. Daybreak qualified in 8th. A lot of players here that I'm fairly familiar with somewhat from a ranked experience every now and then. But again, another opportunity for these teams to really, and players to make a name for themselves. And this is an elimination match, Zoe. So to keep yourself alive in the competition, you gotta win right here, right now.
Indeed. And I mean, if you're not really familiar with the other team, what's your approach here, Jaws? So you're just gonna run to your strength? Or you're gonna try suss it out to see what they played in?
They've definitely been scrimming, I'd imagine, and especially like a lot of the players will already know each other from just like ranked and collegiate, for example. Like Mari, for example, the tank player for Daybreak. They've been in Calling All Heroes a number of times. They've had a lot of high placings in Calling All Heroes, so they are definite known quantities around that sphere. But making it right here through the Swiss stage, it's a fantastic start. It's fantastic to see. Nepal being the first map too, by the way, that's Daybreak's choice. Kings Row, yes, at least one Kings Row game today. Thank you very much. And Colosseo is our third map. If we go any further, of course, we'll see those in just a minute.
You've got Squash, and you've got Kings Row. You're just thriving, Jaws.
I am. It's very good. I'm having a good day. It's fun.
It's awesome.
Today's going to be a good day.
It is going to be a good day. It's already been
I was about to say, it's already a good day.
That's true.
And, I can't wait for all the action to take place here. Is there a clear favorite?
I don't know, honestly. Like, for me, I don't think so. Like, I think both of these teams have a lot that they get a chance to showcase to everybody, and this match feels like it could be quite close, Jaws.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like I said before, especially on the Daybreak side of things, they got some fairly high placings in terms of tournaments too, like top 18 of Flash Ops, like Dive Party high placings, Calling All Heroes, like I mentioned before. So, you know, Daybreak, I'd probably take over Final Gambit right now, but Final Gambit making it, you know, by the skin of their teeth out of the Swiss stage. They got a lot to prove, but this is the elimination game. They got to do well here, or you're going home. We're going to rock out, though. Looks like Final Gambit and Daybreak both wanting to run different compositions here.
Yeah.
Daybreak playing the Sig, and then Final Gambit more on the rush with the Cass this time, and Moira and the Ramatra.
I like the Cassidy versus the Ashe in this matchup. Melophobia is actually just going to go ahead and get the first pick. That was surprising just how far forward that Ramatra was.
Okay. Well, that was a quick fight. Insane damage. I mean, that's what you kind of expect too with the Zen. You're able to sit so far back with the Sigma, and the hardest fight for this kind of composition is the first fight. And they now have the first fight, and they can now sit all the way back with the Sig, the Ashe, and then just poke you down from afar. It's going to be tough. Although, Final Gambit, using their Lucio speed boost, they are going to try and get on top of them, but, well, Mario's making it quite difficult.
And it's so tough because look at the off angle that this Ashe can take here. While the Cassidy has the opportunity to kind of shoot in that direction, still, how else do you get close except for this Tracer to get back in that corner?
Wow, surprise hit. Ooh, Suna heals. Okay, HK and Abyss here in the kill feed quite readily. Wow, this is quick. This is a very, very quick fight from Daybreak.
Yep, and now you just push. I think you can just push all the way forward here. Like, the Sigma can just sort of lock down this choke. At this point, I think you've really shown some dominance here with the DPS, and if you can just keep the space here for the Ashe, then you're fine. You're cooking. You're vibing if you're Daybreak.
Ooh, HK narrowly avoiding. Well, you can't avoid that. Oh my word, HK with some nice movement, dodging out of the way of the Cassidy and returning the favor with a nice little pulse bomb. This is a wash at the moment for Daybreak.
it feels like it's a little bit tough right now for Final Gambit to break through that front line, and they don't really have a whole lot of ultimates right now to help them out in this case. I would look at something like the Coalescence maybe to sort of help with this initiation, but that's not online quite yet. Not before we might see this Gravitic Flux or even just the window.
My word, HK playing with fire there. She does end up surviving and backing off. Nice little rotation from Final Gambit, and there's the Cole. Here's the pressure that we wanted, but you got to be careful now. Abyss does use the Transcendence, narrowly avoiding that Pulse Bomb, which actually got attached to the Ash instead. And, well, that's Final Gambit's push kind of done and dusted. They used Coalescence, they found one pick, but Mari's just taking them to town in the corner here. The Flux hitting both supports. No one's there to touch the point, and Daybreak... this is looking clinical.
That was very clean and very clinical. I mean, it already started with the first opening pick there onto the Ramatra on Final Gambit. And once you didn't have that front line anymore, it just felt like easy pickings. And then, as you called out, Jaws, you get set up on that point, and playing the Daybreak composition from a defensive position is exactly what you want to have. You had free reign of that point here, and heading over to the second one, I don't know if we'll see the same amount of Sigma. It feels like it plays a little bit too slow on a point like this, but you can still play the Ramatra if you want.
Yeah, I still think Ramatra. I'm not from Chelsea in the UK. I can't speak that hot. All right. Yeah, I like the tempo setting that Final Gambit's comp does, but Daybreak switching up again. Okay, now they're going to be the tempo setters with the Doom Fist. We'll see what Mari can do on the Doom. Of course, HK now also switching too. I like this. Again, a lot of DPS players nowadays can just play Tracer straight up, but they've switched their Tracer pair. HK was on Tracer before, and now they switched, and now HK is on Echo. And another exceptional pick too. I think this comp is fantastic. I love the Doom Fist, and with the Echo as well, there's so many good Doom targets in this meta, it feels like. And already, HK's found a kill.
That was so fast. I mean, HK is just completely opening up the fights, whether it's been like the Echo, I think that the Tracer as well was just so disruptive. And the backline for Final Gambit, look at all the aggression coming out from Daybreak. This dive is going to be really powerful. Look at the Doomfist just punching the Ramatra into a corner.
Yeah. I do not need to commentate right now. What you are seeing right now is a stomp. Daybreak running over Final Gambit, and Final Gambit need to be the ones that are just going in with the Moira, with the Lucio, but they're actually going to switch up completely.
Huge
all right,
switch. Yeah. Okay.
Zarya and the Bap now.
I like the Zarya. I think that it's able to help give a bit more sustain to this composition. The bubbles, not a bad way to try to contend with a punching Doomfist or even just a sticky bomb coming through from an Echo. And this Zarya does have quite a bit of range here on that photon gun. So can you actually beam down the Echo?
HK is dominating right now. Straight up diff in the other team's DPS currently. Nice little duplication too. HK narrowly avoiding the pulse bomb. Fancy footwork from the Echo. A wave goodbye. I don't think it's a hello, that's a goodbye. 55% and counting for Daybreak. I like the Echo. I like the Zarya too, Rose. I really do. It's what a lot of the Korean teams have been doing recently, switching to Zarya when they see the Doom Fist to counter the Doom. The bubble just kind of dominates the Doom because the Doom wants to go in, go out, go in, go out, and you can kind of time the bubbles with that, but they're just not giving them a single inch on this point.
It's just so tough because where's your target focus? Everybody's so slippery.
Yeah, okay, double sound barrier coming up. Mari has to back off on the Doom. They managed to get back to point rather quickly, but now it's about actually securing kills. Here's one person from Final Gambit touching right now. Is that Zarya? Is CD actually going to be able to find much here? I mean, they were high energy, yes, but you see that constantly. The Doom is just punching them back, so they cannot get a say in this fight. And HK just goes nuclear on the backline. It's overtime. There's no support to Final Gambit, and there's no hope either. That is Daybreak with just dominating first map. Like that was it. Stopwatch done. Guinness World Records. Yeah, we got a new record setting for you there for map number 1 on Nepal. So yeah, rough stuff so far from a Final Gambit. Daybreak just taking them to the cleaners.
I have no analysis for you.
Perfect.
My analysis is boiled down to Daybreak is amazing.
They look great. I mean, there's a like I said before.
Really good.
there's a lot of known quantities on this team if you hang around the Calling All Heroes.
That's
and some of the players that have played in contenders as well, so a lot of experience in competitive play. And the document that we kind of get before this broadcast, with the players kind of submit information about themselves, some of the players on the Final Gambit side of things saying, like, you know, we haven't got any results just yet. They've been playing in tournaments and competitions here, there, and everywhere, but in terms of pound for pound right now, Daybreakers, they got the trophies, they got first place finishes and things like Calling All Heroes, but
that's true.
Right now, I mean, it's a little one-sided. Maybe a little bit of a 3-0 here. Final Gambit are fighting for their life, of course. Elimination phase of the competition. We are going to King's Row next, and it was Final Gambit's pick here, so maybe that swings it in their favor.
Well, Zarya could fare better on a map like that. If you want to go for the Zarya, I think that is a hero that could totally work in the front line for a map like King's Row. Also, when you have these kind of smaller corridors, the echo doesn't work like as well outside of that first point, so maybe just a little bit of a compositional shakeup is what Final Gambit are going to need to be able to get back into this game, but it still looks like it's going to be a tough ask. Daybreak are playing so clean and so crisp together. It's very obvious that they're quite practiced as a team.
Yeah, a well-oiled machine right now is Daybreak. Yeah, it's just feeling like, hey, another match in the books. We just got to clock in, clock out, honest Overwatch. Like, that's what it's all about. I'm curious what kind of comp they do on the defense here. We've seen a little bit Sig, a little bit Doomfist, and I think just having that flexibility also super important for tank players in Overwatch 2. So maybe Sigma. We saw Amati do it with Hawk, just Sigma on the high ground. Good luck assailing that, unless you're going to go super quickly. And it's all up to what Final Gambit is going to come up with here. Let's have a look at the rosters again. I've got a small substitution, in fact. G2 is coming in for DPS for Daybreak.
Ooh, interesting. So what we ended up seeing on Nepal is just this swap between who was playing a Tracer, and that did open up things for the Echo to come through, but now with Jutsu coming in, I'm wondering if they're just going to sort of commit to having Melophobia on the Tracer and then just try to go for a longer range hit scan. There's so many different options, and I was very interested to see like the Ashe versus the Cassidy, and like maybe we do get to see some Sojourn.
Yeah, Sojourn, yeah, would make sense. I'm curious how their DPS are going to swap between Tracers to maybe Melophobia is now just going to stay on the Tracer from here on out, as HK does take a little bit of a backseat. Honestly, I'd keep HK in right now. She was kind of dominating on the Echo, but maybe a completely different strategy is required, or maybe just giving Jutsu some reps too. Also quite important. Just want to make sure everybody's kind of warmed up for the competition, and having getting actual like tournament games, tournament practice in equally for all the DPS might be important for them as well moving forward. So here we are, King's Row, Final Gambit's pick, as they banned Hollywood, and then it was a ban from Daybreak for Midtown, and then King's Row got selected. So getting King's Row today, which is always good in my books.
We love King's Row in this house. Yeah, King's Row is a fun one, and it really does open itself up to seeing just a bunch of different things. Like, we've seen a lot of different approaches to this match from multiple different teams now in the group stages. So is it going to be like a dive? Is it going to be a Ramatra, a Sigma? A lot of Sigma.
Yeah, I think Sigma's super good, and especially with how the fights end up working out. If you can just get one flux off on the first point, then you want to switch up, it's fine to just switch your tank just halfway through, and especially with how quickly the second phase can go for teams. Sigma, it's decent, I think, because you can definitely hold the corners, but you're more favored in terms of fast compositions on defense if you can't get that initial archway hold. But, of course, we'll have to wait and find out as we jump into map number 2 in this series. Daybreak versus Final Gambit. Daybreak taking a lightning fast win on the first map, and it will be, well, Final Gambit on defense first, so we'll see what they want to do here.
Looks like they're going to be rocking with a Ramatra. You also have the Cassidy as well, which is a really nice pick to have on this first point, just because of the high ground that you can play with, and you're not as susceptible to just getting picked out or having a lack of mobility here, because you have all these walls, all these windows to actually play around. So I think the Cassidy feels fine, and especially if you're expecting an Echo to come out of the other side, then what better way to sort of track that in the sky than with something like the Cassidy? But that's not what we're seeing right now, as we just take a look at the opening doors here on the attack for Daybreak.
Window. Oh, good. I still like that pick, because
yeah,
little free old charge for you too. Yeah, Soj. Okay. Sojourn, and then Melophobia on the Tracer. All right, El Clasico, apparently. Very easy to charge that railgun charge off of the Ram, like we were mentioning before. And you cannot peek. Oh, how's your day? Well, it's going pretty badly, especially if you're the Lucio player. Oh, shoot, 2-2. Keep on living. Wow, these names just write the jokes themselves. They really do. They really do. You can finish that one, chat. It's all good. You can finish that one. Rough stuff. Pretty steamrolly. Point A. All good. Although Final Gambit right now, they do have a chance to set up as 5. Not sure that... Okay. All right, fair enough. You know what? I respect that. I respect that emote just out in the open.
Hey, listen, it's tactical. You get better vantage if you emote, and you are able to look around the corners.
True. So
different
true.
POV.
Wait. It's the sitting emote for Doomfist as he looks around the corner and then your team.
See? Yeah, big brain. So big brain.
They are going to be able to hold the archway though, Rose, so it's going to be a decent hold here for Final Gambit. They just cannot get run over. I've got to be worried though. Melophobia, almost with that pulse swamp, 3% away, and they are making their presence well known in the backlines. And Sealy, pretty low. Received a lot of healing and the lamb to try and keep them up. Got those arms crossed and a little bit of a holding S moment here. And oh dear, that Tracer's in trouble. Keep on living. Is living for now at least. Hits the recall, gets away. That mega health pack, it's not there either. Oh, the Lucio. Oh, and the stick too. They tried to. Oh no! Oh my god. Okay, that's. Who'd you blame there? The Tracer player or the Lucio player? One of them's flying towards you, the other one's blinking towards you. Rough stuff. Hit him with the emote. That's live on stream. That's the Twitter clip for you there as well, Melophobia.
Okay, I can't defend that one. You know, this is so rough. Like, a Daybreak in that fight, too, only needed the pulse to try to even up the score. The window's gone. You've got Jutsu, too, that's going to have these nice sight lines with the overclock. Just wait this out.
Oh, yeah, who do you get high ground? You can see 3 of them cowering in that corner. Very, very slow peek there around the corner. Keep on living, taking out Jutsu as they did rip that overclock. Here comes the flux, though, from Mari. And, oh, keep on living, narrowly missing that pulse bomb. Latest sound barrier here from Thunder 2. They end up ripping it, and latest sound barrier, almost always the better one. There's another clean. Daybreak just pushing on forward. That point 2 in their sights is going to be claimed in just a moment.
It's good that Daybreak were able to get past that point of interference as well, because that is one of the better defensive positions there for a team to take on King's Row. If you're able to stop the push there, it's very difficult to assail it past that point. But don't worry about it. Daybreak got the second objective, and they're all the way starting to work towards that third one. Can Melophobia open things up again with a pulse kill? That's what I want to know.
What DPI is Passenger playing on? It looks so high. Oh my word. Well, there's the Annihilation. Conversation can be saved for later. At Immortality Field. Narrowly saving Sigma's life there as Daybreak just end up backing up. Just wait for that Annihilation to disappear. And now it's Melophobia. It's their chance to get themselves into the backline again. Oh, Sealy instantly getting deleted behind that window. Abyss and the rest of the team. Yeah, this is a quick die on the payload. They're just going to be marching on again.
Pulse in the front, special delivery at the front door?
No, I mean, do it please for star points. Widowmaker! Oh, there's a headshot.
On the Faker.
There's one. No, I mean, you trade. That's actually not too bad. Okay, Melophobia still with the pulse bomb though. Maybe eyeing up the Sigma. Or eyeing up the Tracer. Just want to guess the diff. There's I like what I'm seeing. That mini health pack has gone. Okay, instantly checking. Is the Widow back? Is the other DPS back? No, they're not. Okay. They end up gonna just reset. Group is 5. Push again. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, like you still can't make mistakes here, right? Like you don't want to overextend. The way that you lose this is by getting overconfident. And so Daybreak are still going to play with those mechanics. You've got Jutsu coming back as well. That's almost about to have the overclock, so it's another way that you can just sort of open up this fight. Mari has not had any trouble just making space in the front line.
Oh, there's the Sigma. Dash is the rock as well. Whoop. Little dash to the side. Dodges that flux and, dodges the rock, sorry. Doesn't get the flux cancelled. And here comes the overclock. Well, And there goes the overclock. And there goes Final Gambit. Very much a free beat to How's Your Day's got the sound out. Are they going to be able to come back in? They get to the point. No, not today. Thunder, the little boop away on the enemy Lucio. And that will be that. 2 minutes and 43 seconds in the time bank for King's Row.
I'm just trying to think of what Final Gambit does here. Do you counterpick? Do you try to go with like a special sauce?
An unreleased DLC hero. Thoughts on that? Just pick up. How about I play the unreleased hero? No one's gonna see it. No one's gonna see it coming. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is how they make.
They hack-a-mans their way into the system and play a hero that no one has played before. Brand new. I don't know. Yeah, it's rough, Rose. It really is. I mean, Daybreak are gonna go on defense here. Gonna play the Sigma. It's just kind of a classic comp on defense. It's rough, and that's really all that can be said about that. I mean, Final Gambit right now they're a little bit outmatched. They will Daybreak will end up playing against Shikigami, I believe, after this.
Yeah,
they
and
end up proceeding. And Shikigami, you know, that's a team not to be scoffed at. That will be a much closer game, I'd imagine. We'll see if Keep On Living can find a quick Widow snipe.
Well,
they're deciding better against.
Daybreak actually lost to Shikigami in the groups earlier on, so that was on Friday in order to find themselves in this point. So for Daybreak, this is not only a match to keep their dreams alive of making it to the main event, but they're also looking for some revenge here, Jaws. They want another chance at taking down Shikigami that dropped them here in the first place.
Nothing is sweeter than revenge, I'll tell you right now. I like this pick too. Picking up the Mei, just trying to punish how immobile Sigma is. Keep On Living. Are they just going to jump onto the side or just put up the wall behind the Sig? There it is. But the car wasn't enough to kind of isolate Mari. And Mari handily dealing with the Mei. Biz making sure they stay alive in the front lines. And Mari, she can just poke for free now, pretty much. The backline also for Daybreak, I must say. Although Thunder did die there, but regardless, I think Thunder and Abyss have been pretty damn good at tempering their cooldowns and just making sure their tank is not dropping low 50%, which is hard in this meta, to be fair, with this DPS passive.
Like Mari hasn't died. No, you gotta give a lot of credit to your backline there in order to also have to take like a Mei to the face, and there's a couple of other big pushes here just right into that solo tank.
Wall on the high ground to obfuscate the vision from Jutsu, but it is a quick dash over to the high ground to the left-hand side, and that is a good kill. It's not one you see every day with a Lucio there. Nice little boop out of the lamp. All right, Thunder, they got it. They got the kills. She cleans them up, and yes, another... Oh dear, little stagger on the Mei too. I love staggers. I think they're the funniest things in Overwatch, actually. It reminds me of FRD. This is a lore. It's a lore drop here. An FRD stagger on Hanamura. Back when we played Assault in Overwatch League, it was like a 2-minute stagger. It felt like it was a good minute. I think it was the longest stagger in history. And we had the face cam too. Rough stuff.
Just historic. That map was so historic for staggers like that. I remember watching that on that map and being like, how do you even break past this point? Like, if you get staggered, that sucks, because you already need like a minute and a half to even touch the point in the first place.
The FRD cam is, or Fried Winger cam is legendary. so good. One for the history books for sure for competitive Overwatch. All right. Let's have a look what Final Gambit have here on their next attack, or the next fight. Well, Thunder does end up going down again. A bit over-eager on the Lucio, but, I mean, high ground control very much in favor of Daybreak, but Final Gambit are going to try and change things. They do end up pushing up to high ground, but Jutsu, again, just finding these random stray shots onto Passenger, and with Passenger Jed, Final Gambit have to either regroup or just play in this mega health pack room. They can't really go for any big push here.
They gotta regroup. I mean, look at Jutsu. You've got 3 people on the point right now for Final Gambit, 2 that you are waiting for, and Jutsu is there playing Doorkeeper.
Well, there's the blizzard. Oh, almost got eaten there, I believe. But no. It's all good. It didn't end up landing. And with Mari down, this is their chance for actually to come back into this one. 50 seconds to go and a tick on the board. This may working out for them eventually. Even the blizzard, right? You just end up stacking ults, just try and get the first point, get that payload going. It's very winnable here for Final Gambit.
Absolutely.
Though Daybreak making this hard. Melophobia lands yet another pulse. Sojourn down and Passenger in a whole heap of hurt right now as Jutsu fries them with the E. And 60 seconds, or 30 seconds to go, sorry. Daybreak and Mari jumping onto the Doomfist, a very quick re-engage. They should have this point on lock.
Yeah, that's going to be a pause of that percentage right at that 2/3 mark, and now they only have 10 seconds remaining for Final Gambit to be able to try to crack this one back open. There is a bit of a quick work back to spawn here so that Daybreak could come through, and oof, can't even use the
window
there.
Railgun, and now we sit behind the window and destroy everybody. And there we go. That should just be it. King's Row. It was a bit tough on the offense there for Final Gambit. Daybreak had 2.5+ minutes. Very much a Daybreak favored series so far. Looking like a 3-0, honestly, here, Rose.
I think you might be right about that one. It's not for lack of trying, though. You know, I think that when we take a look at the teams and how they match up against each other, we have to give a lot of credit to how Daybreak are playing as a team. Like, Mari has been so good at holding down the front line. It's very clear how much trust that she is putting into that back line, and also the DPS to just keep getting the job done. It's been very difficult, I think, for any individual member on Final Gambit to have to go toe-to-toe. So look at like DPS for DPS, or even just like the Sojourn marking down the other Sojourn. That is such a tough ask, knowing that Daybreak is playing so cohesively together as a unit.
Yeah, they're just looking really good. I mean, really, I think what's fueling them is the drive to get revenge later on the line, later down the line against Shikigami. I think that's in their sights right now, especially if you're this kind of dominant in this series. You're probably not thinking too much about map number 3. I'll put my Jake Lion hat for a second. Stomps are fun to watch sometimes, and obviously if you're playing in the server right now, you're like, okay, we're just going to go on to map number 3. We're going to win it. Easy like that. And now Shikigami. Now we're going to focus on that series, because that's what's important to us, to actually make it out of this group. Of course, they will face them after a W here. I mean, if Final Gambit can come back in the next 3 games, maybe they make a reverse sweep, but right now it is looking a little bit, well, not a little bit, quite unlikely, unfortunately. Colosseo is going to be the next map, and that was the pick of Daybreaks.
Well, I did like the May pick coming out from Final Gambit. Yeah, I think they decided to go with something a little bit different, and that paid off. Like, they started to get some picks. They were very close to being able to open up that first objective and actually start to get the cart rolling. It just is unfortunate it took so much time for them to finally get to a point where those ultimates were online and they could actually use them to start to open up those team fights. And sadly, on a map type like Push, you don't have that same amount of time to like keep getting reset and keep getting set up for an attacking push.
Yeah, we'll see how Daybreak end up handling this one in terms of composition as well. If there's any substitutions, of course, we'll let you know. The players just getting ready. They're a small little break here if they do need to grab some water and whatnot, which you should also use too if you need a drink or anything like that.
Please.
Stay hydrated. But it sounds like, yeah, I'm just getting word there's no subs at all, in fact. So we should just be getting into the game in just a moment after this break. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a bit.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Welcome back. Jumping into the next map, ASAP. Colosseo with Daybreak and Final Gambit. Final Gambit right now, unfortunately, on the receiving end of just an absolute battering from Daybreak, who right now they're just no matter the comp, Sigma, Doom, Rush, Brawl, Poke, doesn't matter. It feels like they have them beat on every phase, but doesn't mean that Final Gambit can't come back. We saw a little bit of success there with the May.
Yeah.
We'll see if they want to change anything, but you were right before, Rose, especially on a push-style game mode. It's pretty hard to reset and actually go for, okay, we're going to go for another fight. We're going to go for another fight, because every single time you go for a reset, the bot is just pushing away from you, or towards you, I suppose, but away from you in terms of the lead for the enemy.
Like, there's still progress. There's still some amount of progress being made here. Yeah, it can definitely be tough to try to find your footing in a map like this, and especially with the level of aggression that's been coming out from Daybreak. They're really setting the pace of these fights, and I'm keeping a special eye on Jutsu right now to charge up a railgun shot, get it past the shield. They've been so good at being able to weave these shots past the natural architecture and also just either the Ramatra or the Sig shield, and there you go.
Yeah, hit the body shot.
Not a 2-minute waiting game around this midpoint.
Absolutely not. Daybreak want to take it to it. They have lost their Sig though. Mari does end up falling, and 1 HP. Keep on living, barely hanging in there. They did end up picking up the mega health back, so they are alive, at least somewhat. Rather scrappy fight, I might add. Especially using your Sigma too, you can't like anchor payload or anything, so it will be only a small lead for Daybreak, as actually Abyss ends up going down the back of that fight as Tracer was just hopped on their tail.
A huge clutch by Passenger there to be able to get all of that healing down onto the team. And so that's already going to be an amplification matrix very soon. Keep on Living has been going haywire in that backline. When our Final Gambit just finally took like a couple of breaths of fresh air and are able to come back into this one a little bit more refreshed. But that Pulse Bomb has the potential to do some pretty big damage here if you land onto the right target. You only have an immortality field if you're Daybreak.
Or Mari can just eat it.
Okay, that's true, actually. That a little bit harder to do, but yeah, that's definitely possible.
Oh, window. Don't wanna peek that. Nice rock, actually. Mari bites the dust. Jutsu, no way. Oh, do they get the kill? Surely they don't. No, nice stuff. Even Lamb just engaged from Passenger. I mean, why not? It's going to be up in just a moment anyway. Don't want to guarantee any loss of life there. So the payload's going. 40+ meters. Okay, might have a series on hands here as Daybreak go for the reset. They haven't got the Sigma ult, but they got 4 ults. Stack it up.
This is looking way cleaner so far, and a lot of it is just focusing down the tank in the front line. Look how much emphasis they're putting on Mari right now.
Yeah, Mari is just getting kind of destroyed. Walking on the bridge, got Flux, Lamp hit, but as soon as Mari landed back down, bam, there was a pulse bomb right on top of her. So the payload's now moving so close towards that point, and I think Checkpoint's just going to get unlocked. Daybreak have no front pressure with this without the Sigma.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, nice touch.
Like, there is a little bit of a contest happening here. Buy some time for Mari to get back, but Jutsu's trying to play with this window. It's still, how's your cave? Yeah, found the Tracer.
And Abyss was on the high ground too with that window. Sound barrier, good stuff. Actually taking the bot control away from Final Gambit. Bot is going to be a thorn in the side of Mari here, but they've just stolen the bot. That was a really good play by Melaphoba, just jumping onto that bot just before it hit that checkpoint, giving up their life, but securing the robot was what was important there. No forward spawns, no nothing. So it's back to an even fight, you'd imagine, but not after Mari's got something to say about it. Nice Flux, hits 2. Jutsu finishes off Passenger, who's high in the sky, ripe for the taking. 6.5 minutes to go, and now it's Daybreak's chance to push.
That was a really smart call on getting rid of the Baptiste first, because they knew we didn't have the immortality field either, even if that cooldown was available. So nice retake by Daybreak. They do need to get this point unlocked, but they've already done a great job of playing keep away so far from Final Gambit. Like, Final Gambit are just a little bit shy of that point capture as well, and they're set up for success here as Jutsu's looking for an opening for this overclock.
Decent rock there. Mari recalls a little bit after getting hit with that one. Either Jutsu's trying to line up a Pelican-like Collat here, but it's not going to happen. There's a shot through the window. Abyss falls, and the payload, yeah, halted once again just before that checkpoint. I mean, still, Jutsu still managed to find picks, but the spawns are pretty close, and it's all on the Ashe. It's all what we're looking at right now.
Oh, the Ashe is so smart. I love this pick because not only are you looking at just having to fight these close quarters fights, but look at how much dynamite damage you're doing. So that's going to be a quick on fire for the Ashe, and maybe a quick Bob coming up soon too. It's even forcing Jutsu to actually look at the Ashe as well.
Oh.
Hey, look at that! Look at that! Look at the dynamite damage!
Nice stuff. Yeah, that was really close. Keep on living was almost slight pretty quick. Here we go, back to the mid fight, but this time we got ultimates. What a stick! Melophobia just yeeted and deleted. How's your day? 65 meters to 59. It's going to be an easy push now, especially without Lucio trying to get the kill on the Tracer, but now with that Bob out, they're going to have to be a little bit more careful about approaching this, although that lamp is going to save them from any of Bob's wrath. With Mari picking up Passenger as well, this looks like a surefire checkpoint for Daybreak.
Now they're still holding their own, but Final Gambit don't have too many more legs to stand on here as they look to try to take this bridge. Mari's just so good at holding the front line, though.
Oh man, I think maybe Final Gambit push up a little bit there and then just plump themselves on the edge of the bridge so they can perma-contest bot, but they actually let that slip through their fingers as Daybreak managed to get checkpoint and get the payload going. Oh, Flux over the top. Decent Flux too. Sound barrier to match it from Thunder. She catches 5, but the window is still there, still pumping out the damage. With no shield, no grasp, it's a swift demise for Sealy. The payload's still going. All right, Daybreak, they've had enough of messing around. They want to end the series.
This is good. They're looking for a full push here. They've got the Gravitic Flux, which is just another great setup tool. The Bob as well is going to help for some angles here for Final Gambit, so that they're just playing it right into the arms of Daybreak. But they're getting very close. Look at Jutsu. This is Bob.
A classic Ashe moment. Bob into the back line. There's the headshot. Oh, there's the follow-up too. God, Ashe is so frustrating to play against when that happens. Bob out of nowhere. The CC is just too much. The dynamite on top of it. The Flux as well, forcing the sound barrier. And a double kill from Melophobia. Yeah, that's surely game. Nail in the coffin. Pulse bomb on top of it as well. There you go, 3 more meters. I don't think you're going to survive. Oh, nice little clip there onto the enemy Tracer, but that is surely it. They do end up piling out of the spawn. There is a window coming up, but Jutsu, as long as they're existing, they're killing. That will be Daybreak taking the series 3-0, and yeah, quite a quick one for our second game of the day.
Yeah, it started to look a little bit better there for Final Gambit in the first few minutes of that map, but Daybreak, they figured out the win condition, they figured out the success points, and they executed. Major congratulations. They get their revenge now. Or they get a chance at their revenge.
A chance for their revenge, yeah.
Chance for their revenge.
I mean, this was a very dominant showing, obviously, from Daybreak, so there's not so much to be said about the match we just got to witness. I think you're right here. Everyone's eyes are ahead to the rematch between Shikigami and they themselves. Last time, of course, Shikigami, I mean, they defeated them 3-0, so I am sure they are hungry to run this one back. Both still in the running to get that second spot out of their group. Obviously, there were a few individuals, though, which really stood out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think here we really have to highlight Mari. Like the tank role is so important in this meta. Not only do you have to play a bunch of different heroes in order to be the most effective for your team, but you're also trying to create so much space in a lot of these more brawl-centric teams, and having to go toe-to-toe with another Ramatra, another Sigma. And Mari held her own. She was doing an amazing job of making sure you had that space.
Yeah, it was super sick to see. I wish we saw more H-Key, honestly.
Same. H-Key popped off map one.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely dominated. I think they've got a lot of firepower in the DPS lineup. DPS, obviously, the easiest role to kind of get an eye test for, like, oh, lots of kills in the kill feed, but I think HKey, she did a fantastic job on the Echo, and a lot of flexibility in terms of DPS as well across the board. Some teams are just running 2 DPS, and normally they're just kind of superstars that can play everything. There's a little bit more of a swapping around here. That's good in a tournament like this. You also want to give some players maybe a little bit of a break if they feel like they've lost or they're, well, not taking the wind out of their sails maybe a little bit, and sub someone in fresh for a long series is always going to be a good thing. So yeah, I'm excited to see Daybreak moving onwards. Of course, the decider match, like you said, is against Shikigami, so all eyes are on that right now.
Indeed. I do love that we got to see both of those teams go at it, though. Again, there are a lot of players obviously we're not as familiar with, and it's great to see them have a shot at each other and, you know, be on the big stage, quote unquote, so we get more familiar with them, and also, you know, that's how stars are being born. So I'm very, very excited about having this open format, and yes, some of those matches will be a little bit more one-sided. We already saw that obviously in the Swiss stage and even some of the group stage matches. There've been 3-0s, you know, but that's still, there's a lot to take away from that for both teams, the one on the winning end as well as the one on the receiving end. But we are now going to be talking to the winners. So we have an interview with Mari, who's joining us for a quick chat. Mari, congratulations to you in the squad, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Hi. Already in love with your background, by the way. I see you. Mari, let's talk about you and the team. Obviously, we're a lot of people are still getting familiar, you know, with some new faces to the competitive scene. How did that roster came to be? How much time did you have to already play with your fellow teammates?
Yeah, not all the time in the world. It was, I mean, we just kind of, it wasn't really thrown together, but I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 days before roster lock that we decided to play together. I mean, I played with HK before, I played with Melo before. I don't have experience playing with Jutsu or Abyss with Thunder previously, but I like working with them. It's been good.
It looked really cohesive. It really did. It looked like you guys were definitely on the same page.
Yeah, it looked great, and I think one of the big things now is for you to actually face Shikigami again. Like, how do you feel about going into that rematch?
I'm confident, but we just gotta lock in. We weren't locked in Friday. That's it. I think we go into this week with some good scrims, hopefully. We have a couple things to work on, and I think it'll be a good match.